Okay, back again. Uh, so we just covered the Area 54, Area 51 Site 4 Dynamo Showcase cabinet. So I got to take and look at the monitor and figure out why the monitor's not working. Then I have to take a look and see why the board isn't working. I can't verify if the board is playing blind or not. Um, so I'm gonna take the board out and stick it in my other JAMA cabinet and see if I can get it to produce something. I did take my Tekken 3 board and plug it into this cabinet, and the Tekken 3 does play blind, so I know that the power supply and everything works in this cabinet. So it's at least a video issue with the cabinet, and then possibly another issue with the Area 51 board. And it seems to me when I was doing my research on these Atari hard drive based games that they can be kind of flaky. You know, it could be a hard drive issue. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. This cabinet is a little rougher than it looked in the pictures on the auction. And granted, they didn't give you very good pictures on the auction. And I'm terribly sorry about the lighting. My cell phone is not going to like this much. But this is a U.S. market Sega Naomi Universal cabinet. And it looks, it's very hard to see, but inside that hole is a complete Naomi system. And you hear me talk about the Naomi a lot. I love it. Big Sega fan, big Dreamcast fan. So this has is it virtual or Virtua Tennis? I have to double check that. But it's Virtual Tennis 2. And what it's doing is giving me the this cartridge is not suitable for this whatever the message is. I'm sorry, I'm super tired, but it's basically saying the cartridge doesn't fit the console or the Naomi. Now I've seen that happen with a bad seated game cartridge. I did take the game cartridge out and stick it in my homemade Naomi cabinet over there. The first red one you see there, that's my Naomi. And it gives me the same message over there. Now, I've seen that happen with a bad seated cart and with a incompatible BIOS. So, I'm going to look up the BIOS and make sure that it is compatible. But here's the thing. This whole cabinet, top to bottom, is set up as Virtual Tennis 2. I mean, it's got the proper marquee and everything for it. So I have no reason to believe that that game cartridge was not working in this system. That being said, down in here, you won't be able to see it. I'll have to make some more videos, but there's water damage down in here. And there's some rusty stuff and some really nasty looking stuff. So I think maybe the water damage may have taken out the cartridge. But the Naomi itself still turns on, and you can hear the Naomi boot and everything. And, so that's hopeful there. And the only problem is I don't have another Naomi cartridge. I do have, over there I have a net dim, and I haven't tried this yet because the net dim is kind of expensive and I don't really want to risk it so much. So I haven't tried putting the net dim from that red cabinet in here to see if this Naomi board will boot up 100%. But it does get to the boot screen and it does give you the error, this is not compatible. So bear with me a second. I'm going to try to get around here. Like I said, there's absolutely no room in here. I have aisleways that are barely 12 inches wide. So yeah, I like watching John's Arcade, and when he went to go get the Gorf game, there was, I think, almost the same cabinet in the back room there that they were looking at when he went with Arcade Impossible. So yeah, this is the U.S. Universal. It's kind of bulky and it kind of has almost that showcase type of setup. Um, and it's actually kind of deep. Even though it's kind of a unique design, it's still kind of deep. It's probably anywhere from 8 to 12 inches deeper than a typical cabinet. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. It's like I said, it's made up of steel, and it rolls at least. But a lot of the panels are kind of rough fitting, and they're kind of dinged up and stuff. The blue is kind of even yellowing down to a green a little bit. So, you know, I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with it yet. All of these I got really cheap, by the way. So, I'm not hurting in that aspect. And this monitor here actually works, I'd say about 90%. The image is good and everything. It's just right along the bottom, the very bottom, it has kind of like a bright white line, and I've seen that where just the horizontal is adjusted too low, and then what happens is the image folds at the bottom, and you get kind of like a bright line where the image is folded. So it could be out of adjustment, or it could just be that we're starting to see the early stages of vertical collapse where you get down to that line. I've seen it on my gun game where like any kind of bright flashes or bright white causes the screen to bounce up and down. Or in my Marvel versus Comcast, my Marvel versus Capcom. The attract menu has some really bright white flashes which causes the screen to bounce, and that could just be some drying caps, and the kind of the early signs of vertical collapse. But hey, I am not disappointed at all. I have 1, 2, 3, and then the golf game, which is behind over there. That's 4 working 25 and 27-inch monitors, and at best, I may be looking at repair on 1. Hi. So this guy here is a Sharp Image, I think. As what I read, it's Sharp Image, and then it's got a bunch of Dynamo sticker on it. So, it's most likely shipped with the game. These guys here, I have no clue. I know Sega likes to use Nanao. And this guy, I have no idea. And lastly, I go on a lot about monitors because, if anything, sometimes the monitor can be the most valuable and the most problematic piece in an arcade machine. So, anytime you can get a monitor, and I'm gonna be frank with you guys. I don't think I paid. If you average it between all of these machines I just showed you, about $100 a machine. And these monitors here in good shape can fetch $200 plus. Even like something like this. This monitor here, if you guys can actually find these monitors for sale, brand new, they're approaching $600 to $650 with shipping. I've seen them for like $525 plus almost another $100 worth of shipping. So, anytime you can get a working monitor, even if this game you don't like, you can get a good working monitor and gut it, you're ahead. So, anyway, we got in at almost 2 in the morning by the time we got to sleep, so I'm going back to bed, and I'll let this upload. So, take care.